Hello, welcome. My name is Chloe, and this is a video about the Aquarius full moon. Um, this one is rather intense. Yeah, it's so funny doing energy forecasts and like celestial readings and offering collective guidance in these times because the energy is always intense, isn't it? But yes, this one is particularly intense. We have a very like Uranian themed lunation. All full moons are intense because you have, of course, the sun is in one sign and then the full moon is always in the opposite sign. So collectively, we have something that is conscious for us, Leo season, Leo-like themes in our awareness, and then we have the unconscious. Um, Polarization with Aquarius. So all full moons are intense, but being that it's the Aquarian full moon, ruled by Uranus, that's the governing planet of Aquarius in modern astrology, that gives this a more Uranian theme. And Uranus, of course, is very like electrical and very much like the planet of revolution and surprise and it can be very like yeah uncomfortable and jarring when we have this like forward momentum that we're not necessarily prepared for or ready for. So yeah, like the Leo season full moon is always going to be Uranian ruled because that's the sign that it falls in. So for those deeper layers, we look to the full moon chart to see what aspects are involving Uranus, what conversations is Uranus having with the other planets right now. What are they up to? And that sort of gives us like the deeper context or deeper layers to the energy of the lunation, which then we can like understand. If we understand a bit more about the energies that are being experienced right now by everyone, I do think that that's definitely empowering. So for me, this is coming through definitely as a higher turn of the spiral. We have this like, drive for progress, drive towards the future. Uranus is very like future oriented, very technology oriented, progress no matter what, right? And then at the same time, we have like five planets in retrograde or something. So we are on a personal level, many of us are thinking back to like maybe mistakes that we have made or, situations where we could have taken other directions, like what may have happened had I chosen a different path, or yeah, like thinking about like the jobs that didn't work out or career changes or like relationships that ended, things that are sort of like haunting us from our past that we thought we had dealt with, but then here they are again, right? We have, yeah, five planets in retrograde, I think. Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron. Chiron is an asteroid, but yeah, we have these five celestial bodies in retrograde. So, and they're in different signs. So we have, yeah, areas we're being asked to reflect upon in all different parts of our lives. While the focus of the full moon, the lunation, the release, the healing is like very, yeah, very Uranian, so very futuristic for focused. So this is like such an intense time, but then there's also this like immense potential as well to if we understand what's happening, it is empowering because then we know like, okay, I'm thinking about these things because they need to be addressed. There are lessons I still haven't integrated. There is wisdom from these experiences that I have not integrated yet, and still potential for healing, right? So just like understanding that we're having this like that we're being pulled back, but we're also being pushed forward at the same time. This can be like a painful experience for people, like emotionally, psychically, even physically. Some people are feeling almost sick from this. So that's why I wanted to, yeah, hop on just to take a few minutes to describe what was going on, to offer that like validation for you that yes, this is what is happening. This is what you were feeling. and hold like a little bit of space for that, and also offer some practical guidance as well as I do. So yeah, with the higher turn of the spiral that can be like almost dizzying, we do have that like, potential to like jump timelines or collapse timelines, as they say. If we understand the potential to step into the future to create the reality that we want to live in, not just for us as individuals, but like more importantly for our communities, for humanity, for like Mother Earth and all of her creatures, right? Like it's a big deal to be alive at this time. Um, there are some intense aspects happening astrologically that are like compounding these feelings, I would say. There's a fixed T square as well as a mutable T square, and squares always offer yeah, they're like energies that might be oppositional or might not like get along so easily. But if you're able to, yeah, harmonize and reconcile, as we're doing anyway with the full moon, right? Like Sun in Leo, Moon in Aquarius, if we're able to, yeah, harmonize or reconcile those like seemingly oppositional energies, there is so much potential for growth and potential for mastery, and not having to necessarily repeat the same lessons again. So yeah, like most planets are in aspect right now in these two T squares, the mutable and the fixed T square. And then we have, including Uranus, of course, the sun and the moon. There's a Sun Mercury conjunction in Leo right now. Venus is opposite Saturn, Pisces, and Virgo. There's like the conjunction in Gemini of Mars and Jupiter that's happening on my North Node of Destiny right now. So yeah, a lot of different things going on. Um, but there are harmonious aspects as well too. So Pluto right now, the planet of depth and transformation, excavation, Pluto is only positively aspected at this point, which is like really exciting to think about, like the potential of like this Uranian activation into the future, and also like what's going to be uncovered and how will we transform, right? So Pluto's in an out of sign sextile with Neptune right now, and an out of sign trine with Uranus. So Pluto with Uranus and Neptune, like very much, the forward progress into the future, like I spoke about, but Neptune is like dreaming and imagination. So like, again, as I've said recently, having the courage to be optimistic and like to dream big things for our future, is going to like feed into that possibility, that potential. So I pulled a few cards for us. Yeah, just to again offer some grounding guidance here. I've got the Crystal Tarot, which is like a beautiful, like sort of like stained glass feeling deck, beautiful artwork there. And then for Oracle, I chose Art Through the Star Stream, which is like this hilarious, beautiful, like super Aquarian with a flying saucer Oracle deck from the 90s. It's just, yeah, it's so obscure. I love it. And the artwork is so beautiful. Um, okay, so the first card I pulled is the Three of Swords. In the Smith Rider-Waite imagery, you would have like the heart being pierced by three different swords. So it always evokes, or often evokes, like you're feeling some kind of way about it, right? Like deep emotional feelings, thoughts of regret. To me, this speaks to like all those planets in retrograde and like going back to past experiences. So with the Three of Swords, it's important to know that this is never about um like predicting that something bad is going to happen, like predicting heartbreak or predicting pain, right? This is about acknowledging that you have been hurt, that you have experienced pain, there has been trauma, there's been negative experiences, and you're being asked to like feel those feelings so that you can transmute the pain into healing, take the lessons, go forward with the wisdom. So this is very much like, yeah, going back to what you might be feeling about, like the planets don't control us, they're just reflections of the cycles that we experience, right? So all those planets in retrograde are just acknowledging that you are potentially thinking about past events. So this is sort of like acknowledging, yes, that did happen to you, that pain is real. Now how can we choose to heal from this? What lessons do we want to take so we're not repeating those same patterns again and again? And the other tarot card that I pulled is Judgment, which is another one of my favorite cards. I love the Judgment card so much because it's like, well, it's hilarious because it's called Judgment. So you're like, is this angel judging me? Like, what is going on here? But yeah, judgment is about living in alignment with your values. So thinking about having this amazing opportunity for potential to move forward into the future and create the life that we want to live. Um, but this like not just dreaming about it, like not just like that Neptune, but actually taking like practical steps. So judgment's all about living in alignment with your values. Practically, not just like I think this, I believe this, I feel this way, but actually taking those practical steps to live in alignment with your values. So yeah, I mean, it can be super confronting, and I want to acknowledge that as well too, because we do not always have the option in capitalism to live in alignment with all of our values, right? Like there are certain social constructs, there are real physical material constructs imposed on us, and we're not always able to do everything that is in alignment with our values. So this is about like, what can we do? What's one thing that I can do today that's going to have like my actions in alignment with like my heart and my soul. So yeah, it's a big card, it's a confronting card. But I think it definitely speaks to the like going forward, like the progress of Uranus and like the Mars and Jupiter conjunction. And then there's like the Sun and Mercury conjunction, which can have us like, really identifying with our ideas as well too. So like, yeah, that isn't necessarily positive, but I mean, it can be if we're taking steps to live in alignment with like our true beliefs, our true values. Um, so just having that, like, yeah, reflection to the past, being pulled to the past, and then also progressing to the future and like how we're having that push and pull happening that we're all experiencing right now and how intense that is. But just acknowledging, yeah, like this is what's happening. And then the oracle card I pulled it says, magic is alive, ask your divine child. So I love this one for us because it's so relevant for Leo season. Like Leo is the inner child, the divine child. Leo season is a time to embrace that childlike joy and wonder and like do the activities we did as a child to like find that joy again, or like, share with our own children those things that impacted us so positively when we were young, like living in that moment, in that spirit, honoring the inner child. And I think too, in the context of all the celestial energy and the tarot cards we pulled, this is sort of that like ties it up in a nice little bow of like, if you can't even remember what your values are because you're so off track, like living in the day to day, tuning in with your inner child, what were their values? Like what were your core beliefs? Before the societal conditioning or before the jarring experiences, the jarring events that we all went through, right? Like what are those core beliefs of the inner child? So really big energy right now. I hope that you found the reading to be supportive. Again, I'm not here to say like, everything's gone to shit or everything's going to be okay. It's kind of like, yeah, acknowledging what's not working and, taking steps within our own power to remedy that. And yeah, if we can tune into what our core values are, really taking steps in those directions, but also like how intense it is. I have to say again, this higher turn of the spiral is so intense. The Uranian push forward into the future, the retrogrades, um, inviting us, forcing us, to reflect on the past, all happening at the same time. So I'm going to leave it there for the reading, but I am going to invite you just to ground down with me for a moment if that's something that feels aligned. This is a practice that I implement in my group sessions and, private consultations as well. But I think, for a full moon video reading, this is going to be helpful as well too. So let's just, yeah, take a minute together to feel the feet on the floor, feel the bum on the chair, or if you're lying down, however you are sensing the earth, that foundation, that security below us, just really, yeah, really noticing. And we'll take a few breaths. as we tune into this sensation of the secure grounding below us, the floor, the chair, and imagining collecting any excess energy we have and breathing it down out our feet and connecting back into the earth to release the energy back to Mother Earth, sending all excess energies back to the core of the earth. Knowing that we are secure on the earth, that we are safely held by her. Any of this like frantic Uranian electrical frayed energy, sending that back to the earth and trusting that we are able to harmonize the Leo Aquarius axis, the power and the responsibility, the ego and the altruism, taking what resonates, leaving what doesn't. Anything that's meant for a later time, we can send that up to our guides to be dropped down later. And all the excess energy going back to the earth. Breathe. Really releasing, really feeling settled, secure, and safe. And let's pull up some fresh energy from the earth. Pulling up neutral energy to ground us. Okay, so as always, I invite you to share your thoughts with me in the comments. I look forward to seeing you in the Virgo season forecast videos, and I hope that you found the full moon in Aquarius video helpful. I will see you soon.